Okay, good morning everyone, and I hope and welcome to this third part of the HTML basic series for the AICT course at UAT Lahore. I hope you have been going through well through this part 1 and part 2. And today in part 3, we will be discussing a little bit more about HTML, some of the one very basic elements or the tags which are still remaining. And just a little reminder from what we did in the last lecture, we started with the attributes over there. We discussed the styling attributes, as you can see over there, the color tag, the color property, the font size, the background color, the font family, the text align, and something similar over there. We also talked about the attributes for the p tag, which is actually going to be a title, or we can talk about we also talked about the quotations, how quotations can be written in form of a block quote, or we can use the q tag, the starting tag and the ending tag. And if you want to present something pre-formatted text, then that can be done inside pre tag over there. We also talked about a little bit more about the images tag inside the part 2 over there. And we also talked about the BDO stuff over there. And just to recap it from the w3schools.com, we also talked about the HTML colors. That was the RGB and the hex one. We missed that HSL values over there. We'll just discuss in the part 3, sorry. And we discussed all the style, paragraphs, headings, attributes over there. It was a quite lengthy one, but very informative one from the HTML basic point of view. Today we are going to cover the HTML colors, the main basic thing, and then we are going to move on towards the cascaded style sheet, that is HTML CSS. HTML links, very important thing over there, that is actually going to give us how your link can be an HTML link. We know how an HTML link can be made. We already know the A tag over there, but we are going to have how you are going to make this colors over there, how link colors can change if they have been clicked or not. We're also going to talk about a little bit more about images, how images can be made inside as a link as well. We are going to see that one. And then we are going to, very importantly, the Favicon up till now, because Favicon is actually the icon of the website, which is actually shown over there in this part. As you can see on the W3 schools has this insignia where my mouse is hovering at present. My website at present, which is actually HTML AICT course at present. This is still showing you the YouTube icon over there, and why this is showing, I will tell you that at that proper time. And we are going to talk about, we already know about the page title, but just a little bit more inroads inside this topic. Then the HTML tables, very informative if you have to present some data from the database. So tables are very much important. And the HTML list, which means HTML list, ordered list or unordered list, and that can be actually done over there. So today's part 3 is going to be a little smaller one, but in part 4, we will move on from the HTML basics to something very strong points over there. You can call it HTML intermediate when we're talking about the HTML block and inline, HTML div, classes, ID, buttons, a little bit about JavaScript, and then some basic parts that will be covered inside part 5. But here in part 3, so let's start with HTML colors. We talked about, just a little recap from the last one, if you remember it. I told you that there are 140 standard color names inside your HTML. We talked about those HTML color names also. I showed you those color names as well. Here, when we are talking about colors that has to be selected using RGB, then you are going to use this RGB brackets open, red, comma, green, comma, blue over there. And that RGB green, we did it also over here in this form over there. And let me just, in fact, just show you again over there. This is actually in hex form over there. If you want to change this red to something in RGB over there, let's say I want to change this to RGB brackets open. Let's say I want to call it as like something like 40 comma 0 comma 0. So this means that this is going to be some reddish color. Let's make it 140, so it's a little bit more brightish color over there, and now it's like something like a reddish brown. So I've saved its one over there, and now when I'm going to refresh it, because my server is running, so you can see now the HTML course color has changed from that bright red to that one. So you are actually doing this RGB red, green, blue. A slight variation in this RGB is called as an RGBA, where A stands for here alpha, where alpha is another parameter inside this function, and alpha stands for the opacity, which means how the light can pass through that color. So RGBA here, the three parameters, the first three parameters remains exactly the same, just like the RGB. The fourth one is actually alpha, which is actually the opacity of a color. How the color, if it is 0, it can have a value from 0 to 1. So you can have some decimal values also, 0 0.3, 0 0.4, 0 0.7, or something, any value which you want. So if it's 0, then it is completely transparent, which means that it's going to be totally transparent. It will not be showing any color. Okay, but if it is going to be having 1, then the whole color will be actually visible, as you can see in this example as well. So if you are using some RGB over something like this 0, so there is no color, as you can see. If it is 0.4, then you have a little bit slight color. If you have 0.6, you can see it's a little darker than that. If you have 0.8, it's a little more. And then if you are at 1, that's the maximum value of your color which you have chosen from the RGB values. Just as an example, if you want to do this one, let's say I want to do this from the background. Let's say I want to do this for the body of the page over there. Or in fact, let's just say I want to change it for, let's say I want to change it for this paragraph. That is actually the lower one. So if I do want to do it for this one, so let's say I want to change it to RGBA, brackets open. And here I want to actually, let's say I want to change something it to 20 comma 20 20 comma, and then I want to change it to like something point 0.2. So when I've done this, you can see now as soon as I put it 0.2, it's a gray color. But if I change it to like 0.8, you can see now it's a more dark color. So you can see the color is exactly the same, but it's how it's going to be emitting the light. It's opacity, which means that either it's a transparent or it's something like that. So if I give it a like something a 0, you can see if it is 0, then it is totally white, which means it's not a color even. But if I have like something 0.1, you can see it's a small tint over there. Let me just show you again on the Hoek scale on the HTML page. So when you have it, you refresh it. Now you can see the color of this thing is changing. That is actually the color of this one. In fact, I have changed the color of this one. I should be changing actually the background color of this one. So let me just copy this thing from here to here, and I'm actually changing the background color. For the color, actually, let's just take it, call it blue. So it's simple over there. And I have this one. Let's just take this 20 out of it, 20, 20, and 20. So I have RGBA, and I have 20, 20, and this is over here RGBA over there. So I guess I have not as 20 point. I have put a point over there, so that's why it's giving me some mistake over there. It's still some mistake over there. RGBA. Okay, I have put some issue over there. So this is font size. Okay, after blue, actually, I have not put this. So please, whenever you are writing down this thing, please be very, very careful if you are doing this, because I missed this semicolon over there. That's why it was giving an error over there. So here, if I change this color to like something 0.2, so it's something a grayish color with a blue font over there. So if I go back on my browser and see this one, you can see my server is running. So you can see now it's grayish color with that blue font being used over there, and it's completely working fine. If I change this 0.2 to, let's say, like 0.8, so it's now a dark color over there, and now you will see that the background becomes more dark over there. So the color is actually changing its opacity as soon as I'm changing that alpha parameter over there. So this alpha parameter becomes in handy if you are having some JavaScript button or something like that, where you actually want to change the tone of your text or the background of your text or something like that. So this alpha is very, very important. So this was one day, and w3schools.com also gives you this calculator type thing bar over there. You can actually change this alpha and you can have whatever color you want to do it. We already did about this hex. I guess no need to repeat this one, because just like RGB, you have this hex color which can be written in form of the hexadecimal number RRGGBB over there, which is red, green, and blue. But here it is in hexadecimal form. So whatever color that was in 255, it will be now FF over there. If it is in hexa 63, you can convert its decimal equivalent over there. And similarly, if it is 47, you can convert it into decimal equivalent. These are hexadecimal numbers over there. Just like very same, nothing changed over there. We already discussed this in the last lecture. Coming on to the HSL. Now, HSL is something very latest in the HTML category. It takes its name, or it's this HSL is taking its parameter from the JPEG, very famous image quality over there, which is actually H stands for hue, S stands for saturation, L stands for lightness. Now, this is something a little complex as compared to, so it's an extension actually of an HSL. HSL-A is also there, HSL-A is also there. So HSL and HSL-A is actually an extension of the HSL with an alpha channel opacity, just like it was RGB and RGB-A. So HSL and HSL-A are exactly the same thing. But before I move on towards the HSL-A, you have the HSL, which means hue, saturation, and lightness. Hue is a degree of color. This is very important. It's the degree of color, just like you can call it that it is taking its temperature, which means it's actually going to have a temperature. So if it is 0, then it's actually red. If it is 120, then it's green. If it is 240, then it is blue. So it's actually a range from 0 to 360 over there. And remember, this is taking its cues from the JPEG or JPG library over there. Those who want to have a little inroads into it, you can Google it out and go inside it. So hue, saturation, and lightness are the main three parameters inside a JPEG image over there. JPEG is a very, very famous photo extension, which is normally used by Adobe Photoshop or other softwares over there. And saturation here is the percentage value. 0% means the shade of gray and 100% is the full color. So it's actually just like a saturation, that how you are going to saturate the color. If you're going to saturate it more, then you are going to have, which means just like you are not going to have more lines inside your color which you are filling. So if you're having a 0%, you can just see it over there. If you are going to have a select a hue, supposedly of just like something 120 range over there, you can see over there. When you have up till 120 is green, 0 is red. So I have selected something like 120 over there. Let's say I have selected to 120. And if I make this saturation, you can see now, if my saturation is 0, it's a little bit more like a grayish color. But if I'm increasing it, you can see the color is increasing. So its coloring is more bright over there. And the lightness is also, it's like a percentage value, but here lightness is actually how the light passes through. Just like an LED TV or an LCD TV, if you have seen it, there is a backlight at the back of your screen, which is actually changing how the brightness is changing. So this is the lightness over there. You can see now, if I have no lightness, then it's actually a black color. But if I'm increasing the lightness, you can see it's getting more and more transparent type of a color. So it's actually changing from 0 to 100%. At somewhere you can get the dark green color as well. So every shade of colors can be made by this hue, saturation, and lightness. Now it's a little difficult as compared to the RGB stuff, but this is the more generic stuff for the JPEG images over there. The raw image that is used by an iPhone is something totally different from this one. But JPEG images, which are have been the industry format from the last 20 years, but nowadays not being used because of the memory being used a lot inside phones and the laptops or computers. They are having more memory, so now picture quality is increasing and the pixels are also increasing. So that's why they don't use this hue, saturation, lightness. But normally, remember, whenever you are making a filtering, you are doing a filtering on your selfies or on your pictures inside your mobile phones or any other app, you are actually changing these three parameters. And I guess you can easily see over there. So all those filters which you see where one-click filters, they are already made up of this hue, saturation, and lightness thing over there. So hue, saturation, and lightness is very important. You can try this one yourself. I'm not going to do this one over there. So HSL is equal to, here you can see 0, because 0 is red. So that's when you're having a saturation of 100%, and then you have a 50%. Otherwise, if you have made it like 100%, then it will be totally opaque over, it will be totally transparent, sorry, over there. So you can try this HSL over there. And if you are going to have a saturation, you can see a 50% is gray. So you can see 50 50 50 50 50. So you can see over there, as the saturation changes over there from 100, 80, 60, 40, 20 and to 0, you are going from a red color to a gray color. So you can try a lot amount with this one. In fact, there will be one assignment in your lab. We will be doing that one, in which we are going to ask you to make a JavaScript timer, in which you are going to change the background color of your page or maybe the text over there based on some timer. But when the page loads over there, the background changes after some time, or maybe if you push a button, then you can change this from red to gray or something like that. So we will do that. We will do that, and we will be giving you, so to practice this thing inside your uh, free time or whenever you're doing it. The last thing over there, as you can see over there, if you are trying to find out HSLA, A is again the alpha over there, just like the RGB thing. So alpha here is just like 0.5. So if you do it 1, it's actually giving you that how that color is actually going to be more visible over there. The 0 means that it's not going to be visible, 0.5 means 50%, and it's not the light which is actually passing through it, just like you can call it the lightness over there. But here, because lightness, you can see if it is passing no light, then it is actually black. If it is passing more light, then it is 100%. So it's not that same thing. Alpha is just like how that color is more visible over there. But if you go to 101, alpha equal to 1, from in the range of 0 to 1, this means you're going to actually get the full color. If you put it like 0, then you are not going to get any color over there, whatever the value of hue, saturation, and lightness. Just like it works, just like the RGB1 over there. Please try these examples over there inside your HTML file over there. The examples are available. Can you try these examples? Now, coming on to the next topic, which is very, very important, and that is actually going to make the basis of our now HTML files. That is called as the CSS. Now, CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheets, and it makes or saves a lot amount of work, and it can control the layout of the multiple web pages all at once. What I mean by this, cascaded style sheets means that the style sheets where you are going to do the style attributes, they are going to be cascaded over there, and those cascading is going to be applied on many, many different files. Like supposedly you have a home page, and so just for example, let's say if I am going to open some website, let's just a new website, geo.tv, and if I click it, you can see all the background is white, the links are in black color, and the semantic is this one. But if I click on something, let's just say if I click some ad over, news over there, still the background is very same. So this means all the website has one style sheet, and inside that style sheet they have told us, okay, the news is going to be something like this, the picture is going to be in the center, it's going to be on the left hand side over there. Because even whatever picture you click on it, let's say this picture, you can see the picture is marked over there. You are not going to go on each page and tell it, okay, the picture is going to be of this size. You're just going to make one master sheet, and that is going to be called as a style sheet over there. And that style sheet is going to govern all the format of the layout of the whole website. Or maybe if you're just designing one page, then you can have many, many different pages as well. Now, up till now, what have been you doing over there inside your text over there? This type of styling which you have been doing up till now, this thing which I am highlighting at present, this is called as inline styling or inline CSS. Why inline? Because you are doing it inside the line of that HTML tag over there. That's why it's called as inline CSS. And this is very simple, and it's more easy to be done at the runtime. But if you can see over there inside my text editor, which is actually Visual Studio over there, you can see very easily that now the H1 has moved on over there. So whatever I have written over there inside the H1 tags over there has moved on, and some of them it's even not available for this P over there. So this adding the style attributes or the style over there, the style property over there is making it extraordinarily long. So it will be much better that if I make this H1 address somewhere over there. And for that purpose, there is another way which is called as an external CSS, and there is another called as an internal CSS. Now let's just see how you are going to have that internal CSS first. Now up till now, your whole document was based on an HTML element that was actually the root element, and then you had two elements. One is was the head, other one was as the body, and inside that body you had all these tags and starting tag and the ending tags over there, and then you had the script tag at the very end, which you have still not discussed. We'll be discussing it in the next part, or maybe in the fifth part in detail. But here in form of there, if I want to now add over there, one thing I can do it, supposedly this is H1 over there. So if I want to add a style tag, and that style tag is going to come in over there, let's say I am putting it below the head tag, and I call it as a style. And as soon as I write down the style, Visual Studio is going to add this ending tag, and you can see over there. Now what I have to do, I just need to take out this H1, whatever I've written inside the style tag, whatever is there, cut it, let's say, and paste it inside this style over there. And now what I have to do, because this is related to H1, so what I have to do, see this very carefully, I have to write down H1, start with a curly bracket, press enter, and here at the very end where I have put this inverted commas, I can just do it, and I can just put it like this. So now what I have done, if you can see over there, whatever was inside H1, I have written inside a style starting and ending tag. So inside style, I'm making a generic or a global type of a style tag. And inside it, I'm telling it that wherever there is H1, make the color RGB this, font size this, font family this, text align this. So this is something like this. Now, one way of adding is it in one line. If you don't want to make it in one line, then since this is a semicolon over there, you can press enter anywhere over there. So you can press an enter here, you can press an enter just like here, and now you can press an enter here. So what will happen now? Now when you have added it, H1 is being applied a style property in this style tag, and it will be auto. Now you can write down anything over there and the document still remains the very same, just like it was before. If I just refresh it, it's still the same. HTML code still remains the same. And if you want to do some change, let's say I do some change over there. Let's say I want to change it to, let's say 140 here also. So what happens? Not sorry, 1400. 1400 is not a legitimate value. So you can see this is gray. And now if I go on, and now you can see the not gray actually, this is something uh, yellowish greenish color. So this is the color change over there. So now you can see H1 is being applied. Now I can do the very same for H2. I can do the very same for H2, and I can just cut this thing from here and make this back and inside the style tag. So now everything which I'm writing, but you don't have to write down the style, just copy H1, brackets, curly brackets open, and also take off the inverted commas and just the over here. So H2. You can make them into 4 lines, 3 lines, whatever how it favors you. If it is not taking that much space over there on the horizontal side of the key screen over there, then of course you can make it in 1 line. But if you want to make your file elongated, a long one, and you are not afraid of scrolling your mouse whenever you are actually coding, then it's totally okay. Same thing, you can do it for H3. Let's say I have done this for H3, and for H3, let's say I cut it again here, and inside H3, this will be H3, brackets open, and inside H3, I have it, break off the curly brackets, and I take also this style. So now I have H3. I can do this very same for the H4 as well. And now H4 is going to be, let's just say H4 is going to be like this, and H4 is going to be like this. So you can see now I'm adding H1, H2, H3, H4. I can do the very same for H5 as well. Let me just do it for H5 as well, and then I move on to the paragraph over there. Now this is H5, brackets open, curly brackets, and remember one thing, you have to add the semicolon at the end of each line over there, even if you are putting it in 1 line, or even if you are doing in 5 different lines of how many number of properties you are addressing inside this one. Now this goes on. Now you can see H1, H2, H3, H4, H5. They now seem a little bit more picturesque. It's easy to now write down the text or editing over there, and all the styling is being done inside the style tag. This type of styling which I've just done and I'm highlighting at present is called as an internal CSS, because now you are having an internal file, oh sorry, internal text over there inside the style global over there. And if you want to now take on the P, now P tag is something very important. Now there are two P's over there. Now what I will do over there, I will just copy this P from here. Let's say I copy this style tag. Remember, this is only for the style. I'm not going to take the title away from it. You can't take the title away. That's actually a property. So if I have this now P over there, so now what will happen? This is P, brackets open again. Remember, I have to use the sorry, the small lock, small, not the caps lock over there. And if I have this one and I close this one, take off this inverted commas over there, and I have this one. So now I have this one. Now when I've done this one, what will happen now? When I've done this one, now the P inside over there, I'm going to refresh it. You can see now what has happened, that wherever there was a P, everything has now changed to that one. And those ones which you have decided over there separately, they are still working on the very same, which means that this was a P over there, this was also a P over there, and this was another P over there inside this one. But now what has happened, wherever there was a P added over there, that has changed to that particular, because you have not decided over there, or you have not. Now if I take this out of it, let's say I take this style out of it, and at present I just go on towards my browser again, and now you can see all the paragraphs or P are now having the same styling. Now, this may be a problem because you wanted one of the paragraphs in some different color, the other paragraph in some different colors. This can be done, or this can be eradicated, or this can be solved by using the ID. And we will come back to this HTML ID or classes at in the part 4. So be tuned for that part 4. We will discuss that one. I'm not going to discuss it because it's a totally different thing over there, but that can be done. But remember, if you even want to do, or you want to supersede this P because you just have one P over there, then you can define your own P here in form of a style, because that will supersede the global styling property of the P's over there. And you can have just like this over there, you have this P over there, you can see this is red. The other one P, you have given it as black over there, and that is still working over there. Let me just show you again. So you can see over there in this file over here, so this is still in red, you can see, and this is still in black over there. So it's being superseded if you define your style inside that particular P which you are using over there. So this can still work. This type over of styling is called as internal CSS over there. Now, you are actually now increasing the size of your main file, because styling global is going to be added on the top of it, of course, after the head over there. So this is waiting a lot of amount of long over there, and you have to scroll down and then you have to go up and now one way of doing is called as the external CSS also, which means you will go inside your folder. Let me just go inside my folder over there, inside my XAMPP, because I'm on a MacBook. So this is going inside htdocs. And here I am going to make a new file with an extension CSS. So for that purpose, let's say I make a new file. Let me just use the the Visual Studio. And here inside htdocs folder, I'm going to create by clicking this button, a new file. Let's say I call this one, since this is part 3. So let's say I call this one as part 3 dot css, and the extension has to be css. Remember, part 3 dot css, it has to be part 3 dot css. Whatever name you want to give it, you can call it style, you can call it style sheet, whatever name, but the extension has to be css. Now as soon as I like it, press enter, part 3 dot css is there. So I will go on my part 2, which was actually, and what I will do, just very simple word I have to do, I will cut whatever is inside the style, cut it from here, go inside my part 3 and paste it inside the white file. That's all. Save the file, go back to my index part 2 and save it. Now, one thing you have to do, and that is that you have to link these two files, that the both files are going to be, and that is going to be done by the link element over there, and that link element is going to be inside the head. Remember, link is again a tag which is going to link this file, whatever file you are going to talk it, and this is the relation of that file, which means REL here stands for the relation. That is the style sheet over there, which means it's a styling sheet over there because the extension is CSS. So I'm just going to copy this and change according to my requirements over there. Going inside it, going inside my head over there, wherever I have this one, it's a style sheet, yes, of course, but in arch reference, because my file name is part 3, so automatically it gives me part 3.css, and I save it. Now I can take off this style tags, no need of this one, because everything I am trying to do it is inside over there. Remember, whenever you are working in Visual Studio Code, please use this arrow tags over there. That actually makes whole of the element. If you want to have the head element, this can be also uh, visible or invisible over there, so that your file can be scrolled easily. If you're not working inside the head, then you can make it minimized like this. But if you want to show every file over there, now I can go back on my browser and the file will still remain exactly the same, because it's now using a new style sheet. And this type of way is called as an external CSS, an external file called here in my case as part3.css, which is opened here, and I have everything over there. Now, if you want to change, let's say I want to change the heading color over there. Let's say I want to change it to something blue, something bright blue. So if I change it now and I go back, I've just changed inside this one, saved this file, going back on my browser. And if I just refresh it now, you can see the heading is changed. You want to change something else inside it, you can add anything inside it. I just have like 3 or 4 different values over there. You want to increase the size to like something like 80 pixels over there, let's say 80 pixels for the heading. So now, of course, the heading size will increase, and you can see now the heading size. So everything that is, you are going to now, from now onwards, anything you are going to write down in styling, it will be better you do it inside the external CSS, your CSS file, and you are going to give that H reference over there, that is the hyperlink reference over there. REL stands here for the relation, and that is actually a style sheet. There can be many different relations. We will talk about it when the time comes, but at present we have only the style sheet as present, and this styling you are actually just adding, and you can add any of the properties. Either it's going to be color, font family, font size, or whatever, or even a border. Up till now we have not been adding a border. Let's say I want to add a border over there. Let's say I want to add a border to my H1. Let's say I want to add a border. Let's say that border, let's say I want to make it a 2 pixels border, and I want to make it a solid, and I want to make it a blue color. So this will be blue. This is the normal nomenclature. Again, don't miss the semicolon, so that now your view is there, and now you can see now that there is a border around the HTML course heading, that is H1 over there. So you can see very easily that you can add a border. You want to change the size or the thickness of that border, you can double it, or you can triple it, or whatever. Now there are many different ways of identifying the size of the border. Here at present, just remember, I'm still working with the pixel. There are many other units which can be used inside HTML, but the most famous ones are the pixels, the REM or EM. Now you can see the thickness has increased by 2 times over there. That was previously viewable. So this is called as an external CSS, and you can add a lot amount of CSS elements over there. You can add also the padding and the border over there. I will come back to this padding a little later, not at present over there. So this is the HTML CSS. From now on, whatever work is going to be there, I am going to provide this part3.css file also with you. So anything that you are going to change inside your HTML file, you have to use that part3.css as the styling part, unless and until you want to specify them over there, as this is one over there, or you are going to use this HTML ID in the later part over there. Now coming on to the next thing, which is very important, that is HTML links over there. HTML links, or simply called as hyperlinks over there, we call them as hyperlinks. We already know this is can be done, and already we have a lot amount of HTML links added at the bottom. If you have seen this HTML links over there, this was the geo Teja's Geo News over there. You had this AH reference over there, and this was the w3schools.com. This is you can call it W3. Let's just call it W3 schools link over there. So this was a lot amount of tags element. Let me just add a little line break over there. So, and let me just review it again on the HTML. So I have this one, and now since this is at the bottom, you can see now Teja's Geo News is there. This is a W3 schools link. Now, this is well and good. We already know it. We know how H reference is going to be there. Two, one attribute which is going to be very important, and we are going to use it, which is called as the target attribute. Target attribute means that how you want that link to behave. You want to open inside a new page. You want to open whatever link you are trying to click inside that page. You want to open inside a totally new parent frame, or you want to open in a totally new full body of the window. So there are four different options over there, and each starts with an underscore. Self means opens the document in the same window, just like up till now we have been clicking it. Let's just say if I click on this Teja's News, so you can see now the News link of that news opens in front of you. If you want to open a document in a new window or tab, which means a new tab, just like over there, then you are going to use underscore blank over there, which means the blank page is going to be open. And if you want to open inside the parent frame over there, now this is a little difficult. We will just do this one later on, and I will tell you how this works over there. And if you want to open in the full body of the window, then it's going to be underscore top. For example, let's say I change this target over there for this WC schools over there. Let's say I change this target equal to, and I change it to underscore uh, blank over there. And if this is blank, then, and I have H reference equal to this one. So I have this now two attributes added. One is called as the target, another one is called as the H reference. I have saved it. And now when I'm going to refresh this page as per this one, underscore blank in a new window. So it should open inside a new window. I have just done it. So when I click it, it's still loading inside it. Let me just, I guess, because of the history, this is not being done. Otherwise, it should be linking over there as per the rules over there. Uh, it should be opening. Let's just say I can try the other one as well. You have to remove the history of this one. So if I have this top over there, let's say I have this target equal to top. And if I go back on this one, so I have this one. Actually, this is the history of my browser because I've already clicked this link. I have not clicked this link of w3schools.com. So let me just copy this thing. Okay, sorry, my bad. Actually, I have been clicking on the wrong link. This is W3 Schools link. Actually, I have to be clicking on. So which means I have to click on this link, and this is opening here. And let me just change now to the blank over there. Let's just say this is blank. Sorry on this part. Actually, were two links, and I was clicking on the lower link over there, but I was clicking on the other link. So now you can see it's working. So I have a new page opening in front of me. So this is a W3 schools link. As soon as I click it, a new page is opening. You can see a new window is being opened over there. A new tab is being opened as soon as I click it. So you can see this is still working. So if I have this blank over there, you can see this is totally working. If it is self, then it is the default value. Even if you don't define it, it will be still working over there. We'll come back to this parent and top when we will be discussing about the iframes in detail. Please remind me if I missed it over there. So this parent underscore top, I will be discussing it when we are discussing HTML iframes, because we can open a website inside a website, which means that if this is w3schools.com, I can reference some area inside this page, and inside that page I can open geonews.tv or maybe bbc.co.uk or some other website over there. So it's very simple, and we are going to use that underscore parent and underscore top at that time. That actually works over there. So this is the reference over there. One thing very important now, which I want to add now, is the absolute URLs versus the relative URLs. Now, this is something very, very important. Up till now, whatever link we are giving, these are the links of some other external websites, which means geo.tv or w3schools.com. Now, let's say I want to now specify, let's say I want to specify a new page, and this is the part one file. So which means what this video series, we were discussing this part one, and that part one was this file. If you remember it from the part one, we discussed this part one over there at that time. So I want to reference, I want to open it. If I want to click on this link, particular link, this is the part one file, it should open part one over there. And for that purpose, let's say I don't want it. I don't want the blank one. Sorry, on this part, I want to click on the self, okay? Which means that I want to actually have it opened inside the very same. Now here, since it's my own server, I have my exam server working over there. So this is going to be called as a relative, which means I only have to tell it the file name and the path as reference to my root directory, because my server is automatically inside the htdocs folder, and my htdocs folder already has that index.part1 HTML file, and that is this file over there, index and dash part one HTML. So I only need to tell inside this H reference over there that press enter, and I have to write down index dash part one dot html. So it will automatically open index dash part one dot html. So when I save this one and I now refresh this page, now you can see this is the part one file. And if I click it, now you can see this is the part one file. So here now you can reference inside your server every time you want to go it. Now, even if let's just say one more thing, if I place a new folder, let's say I call it part one, and inside that part one, I take this file and drag this file over there. Let's just say I drag this file over here and put it inside part one. Now it's inside a folder. So now what will happen? This will not be opening that file over there because of the history. It's actually being opened, but practically it won't be opening over there. So what I have to do now here inside this one, I will have to again give the part one, and inside part one, this is index dash part one. So I have to give the folder name, then the file name. So in this way, you are having relative URL. So you are already here. Remember, I'm not giving any www dot something website name. I'm just giving part one, slash index dash part1 dot html. So everything is open here in front of me. So just refresh it, and this is the part1 file, and you can see now this is a totally different file because I have copied a different file over there. Remember, I have copied a totally different file over there and I saved it, and every time I'm clicking this one, it's totally a different file in front of me. So you can see now that in this way you can reference your relative URLs which are based on any folder in which they are placed over there, or you can place directly inside the same folder over there. Normally, if you have a full hierarchy of your pages, then you are not going to place them inside the same folder. You are going to make some subfolders and then you are going to have it. So in relative URLs, you are going to have no www or https over there. You are just directly just going to give the path of that folder from where you are actually going to reference based on your root folder over there. So this is the HTML link. Now you can also have an image being used as a link as well. For example, let's say I want to open the Geo website page, and let's say I want to go on the google.com, and I just want to take a Google image over there for geo.tv, and I want to have the images from the Geo. Let's just say, okay, I want to just copy this Geo news over there. Let's say this is a very good image, 900 cross 900, and I just want to save it. Sorry about my mouse click over there. It's sorry, I have this one. Actually, my mouse is not in the very best of the best conditions. So what I will do now, let's just see, I will just going to cut paste this thing. It's a JPEG image. And I have now, I'm going to go inside my applications, again, the htdocs folder, and I'm going to place this inside the images. So, okay. And here I'm going to just rename it. I just want to make it geo.jpg over there. And here over there, where I am going towards the Teja's website or whatever stuff over there, this A link is here. So now I'm going to, instead of writing this Cheja Geo News over there, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take off this one, the written text over there. And here I'm going to start an image. And inside that image, I'm going to write down source equal to, brackets open, images slash, and here I have geo already because my Visual Studio is giving me. And then I have the width equal to, let's just say width is equal to, I just want to have it, I guess it was the 900 cross 900. So let me just make it 100 cross 100. So I have the width and I have the height equal to, let's just say 100, and I place this off. This is the image over there. And now when I have this image over there, now what I'm going to do, listen to this very carefully over there. A has to be covering that image. You can see over there, A is starting over there. I'm giving the H reference. Image is inside it, which means now, if I go back on my this one, if I want to make this work as an image, as a link over there, so this means I am going to write down or cut this image from here, and wherever this is going to be written, and I'm going to paste this image over there. And here inside the ending tag of this one, sorry, I've actually clicked the wrong shift button. So this is my over here. So here, let me just put some line breaks over there so everyone can have a view. And now you can see that my A tag is starting from here. And now there will be no text. There will be only an image of the geo logo. And when I'm going to click that logo, the Teja crash is going to be, link is going to be opened over there. So now here, let's just say I go back on my, I just refresh it. And now you can see the Geo logo is there. And as soon as I will click it, you can see now it's going on. So you can use an image as a link as well. Now you want to show this Andromeda galaxy. Now this was a very small image if you remember it. Now you can open it as a small exercise, do it yourself. You want to open that image in the full size over there inside maybe another page, or maybe just want to open the whole image, then you can include your image inside the A tags so that then you can have the image fully seen, because Andromeda Galaxy was like something like 9000 slash 9000 over there. Just to confirm it, I guess, yes, I'm right, not wrong over there. If I get the info, because I'm on this one, yes, of course, sorry, this was a 4000 slash 3000 pixels image. So you can easily get the image over there. So you can have this image tag inside an A tag over there, so you can use that image as a link as well. So in this way, you can easily have your images as links as well, and that is very similarly. You can have a link to an email address as well. That is, you can have the same tag over there. Let's just say on this website, I want to give it my email address, and I want someone to contact me over there. Let's say I want someone to send email to Arsalan. So I'm just going to have it. So if you want to mail me something, my email address, which I am officially using, is this one. So what will happen as soon as I will click on this link over there, and what will happen over there, let me just show you. If I go back over there, click on this one, and now you can see send email to Arslan Rahim. As soon as I will click it, it will open the official email exchange software in my laptop. Now, since I have not enabled it at present, but of course, if you have a Microsoft Outlook and you're working on the Windows over there, it will open your Microsoft Outlook over there. So in this way, it actually tells the computer or the operating system that this person wants to send an email to this person. So that email address will be copied over there easily. And the word used being used over there is called as myalto, which means mail to colon, and that is the email address, whatever that email address is over there, and inside it send email to Arslan. So in this way, inside the a tag, instead of having the address given for HTML2, you can use mail to someone, whatever the email address. In my case, that's my email address is arsalanirahim@gmail.com. So in this way, you can have a link to an email address as well. But again, this is dependent upon if you have installed and you have made it available. Next thing, very important, that is a button as a link. Now, I'm not doing this one at present because we have a total HTML buttons at present in the part 4. So just make this a little later on. We will come back to this one because the buttons are going to take a lot amount of time. So I don't want to introduce buttons and clutter your brain at present. So we'll be talk about this a lot amount when we're talking about the JavaScript and automatically the simple buttons as well. And we will play with a lot. So I will just leave that one. Similarly, you can also give links to the titles over there, because sometimes just like the paragraphs, you just want to make your mouse hover over there and that gives you the title of that, just like this Indian Fair Force up. You want to just take on this mouse over the Geo News. So let's just say I want to call this image over there, and inside it I would just want to call it, let's say this is title, and title is equal to, I just want to call it the Cheja news over there, let's say. So this is the title of the news over there, and I will just refresh it over there. So if I move this one, this is, you can see the mouse pointer is showing me that the Teja news can be linked on this one. And this way you can have many different icons inside your page, and you can clickable icons which you can click and you can open some new pages inside your page from your. So you can easily have the absolute URL and the relative URLs over there. So you can have it very simply. Please do not miss the double quotes inside this H reference. This is very, very important. So this is something very important. Next thing on the HTML links is the link colors. Now, this is something very important. Now, what is happening? Link colors. What does that link color means? Now, if you see very closely over there inside these links over there, when I clicked these links for the very first time, they were blue in color. But now, since they are clicked already because of the history of my browser, they are showing a purple color. So this is telling me that I have already visited these links over there. And if I move my mouse on this one and I click it, as soon as I'm clicking it, as present, I have not just clicked and released my button of the mouse, but when I'm clicking it, it shows red color. And when I click it, it opens a new page in front of me. So these properties are called as the HTML link colors over there, and you can change your links over there by in the style over there. And this comes because you are changing the color of your links over there. So these can be changed inside your style property, and this is a very simple color. And how you can address is, up till now you have been not been telling that okay, A is something what is over there. I will just copy this A just like this one over there, and I will take it inside my style file. So now when I go it inside my style file is here, and here inside it, I'll just copy paste this one. So what it will happen, all the A's, which means all the links, which are the color will become green. If I have written something text over there, they will all be in green. Background color will be transparent. Text decoration will be none. Now I will come back to this text decoration and background color later on, so don't worry on this part when we're discussing CSS a little more. Then if I have visited, then it will be pink color. If I'm hovering my mouse over there, it will be red. And if it is active link, which means I'm clicking it, that time it will be in yellow color. So when I'm having this one, so if I go back now, I've saved it and I now refresh it. Now you can see they are in pink color because I've already visited it over there. So just to confirm my idea, yes, I have already visited. That's why in pink color. Let me just make it something different because pink is not visible over there. So let me just make it not actually red. Let me just make it red, green. And for the color of the link, let's say I call it blue because blue is more viewable, so that makes a little more easy. So now that is blue as a link when I have visited. And how I'm doing it: a colon link, a colon visited, a colon hover. These are properties of your link and they are attributed by your colon over there of your tag property here. We will come back to this one when we are discussing CSS in detail. At present, just link with this one over there. The four ones: one is the active, hover, visited, and links over there. So when I go back on now this one and I refresh my page, now you can see they are in green color as soon as my mouse is hovering over there. Now, since this is not changing because this is an image, there is no text over there, so it will not change. If you want to make this change, then you will have to change the property of your picture over there. Otherwise, this is a W3 schools link. This is the part one file. And as soon as I click it, you can see as soon as I'm clicking it, it's an active. So that's why you can see it's changing its color to yellow for that brief moment of time. So here, these are the four ways in which you can change the HTML colors, and they are very easily over there. In fact, now if you want to change it, let's just say I want to change the font size. Let's say I want to change the font size because they are little very, very small. So if I want to change them to, let's say, like 120%, let's just say if I want to take it in 120%, so this will be 120%. For the visited also, I want to make it 120%. For the hover also, I'm going to make it 120%. For the active, I'm also going to make 120% over there. So now when I refresh it, now you can see the size is increased over there. And as soon as I'm moving the mouse over there, and if I click it, and that yellow part, you can see that yellow part, and it opens in front of you because this is the Safari property in front of you. So in this way, you can change the HTML link colors over there, and you can even make it inside as a button. Now this button, we will again come back again, the same thing. I will come back to this button thing. You can make any link as a button by adding some padding. Padding means that you are adding some margins around that text which you have written over there. That padding is being added as a 15 pixel by 25 pixel, but we will discuss this in detail in part 4. So don't worry on that one. You can see the same property for that A is being done over there. So I will come back to this one later on when we are discussing the HTML buttons in detail. So don't worry on this part. Next thing, bookmark links. We will discuss this also inside the HTML ID. So I will skip this portion at present of the link big box and I will straight away go towards the HTML images over there. We already have done this HTML images, but just the image, if you want to add over there, we already know the HTML images syntax over there. We know the source. What is the source? If you want to go inside the folder, you want to just go in some subfolder, or you want to go into over there, so it's an attribute over there. Similarly, you want to have the alternate attribute. It provides an alternate text for an image, which means I already told you it is used for the Kindle. Before of a slow connection or something, it's there. Then you can have the alternate text over there. Then you can also have the width and the height. We already know about that. It can be in pixels over there. It can also be in percentage, but at present, just fix it to pixels over there, assuming that our image is always going to be in one form. Then afterwards, after the width and height, you can add this width and height inside the style as well. This is something very important. You want your images to be equal to the width equal to 100%. Now it's totally up to you. Now what happens over there, you can use the style attribute which is given inside your internal CSS or the external CSS. You can try this one yourself. You can have an image over there. Let's just say I want to show this one. Let's just open this w3schools.com image, sorry, the link over there, and you can see over here what has happened. For this image, that is source over here, width is equal to 128, height is equal to 128. What I have done over there, that inside this picture, I have made width equal to 100%. Now, when I've done this width equal to 128, height is equal to 120, I have not specified any image over there. So what has happened? Automatically, the width of this one is equal to 100% because the page is equal to 100%. So it's automatically being over. So it's being overridden over there. The second image uses the style attribute because here I am having the set width to 128 pixel. This will not be overridden by the style inside the head section. So this will not be overridden if here you have written 128 by 128, but here you have written just like the property inside the style and all that, you can override your property by giving your style attribute over there. So here you have just given width and height over there. They will be overridden if you have an image inside or image inside your style global or your CSS file over there. But if you have a style attribute or a style property inside your image element inside your HTML document, then of course it will be overridden. You can see the visible difference over there. But normally it is advised that they should be inside each image, so you know which image is going to be shown as how much width, height, or whatever size you want to specify. Plus, already I already told you that you can have the images inside another folder. We are already doing it by having the relative path of it using another one. You can use an images from another website. We already done this one from the part one, so no need of anything thing. You can try for your animated images as well, which means the HTML website can show some GIF images, which means there is some transition, some maybe a Tom and Jerry or something like that. You have the 3 or 4 sequences of images, so that can be also done. So animated images or GIF images you can have anywhere. We already done that image as a link. We already done this one in the HTML links part over there. The anything very, very important is the image floating. That is something very, very important. Now, up till now, you have this image over there of the Andromeda galaxy on the left hand side. Now, up till now, if you want to now make this, now this is something very important. Now, if you want to make this image float over there. Now, this is something. What is going to float? Anything floats, that can go on the left side, it can go on the right side. If anything comes on the other side, it will of course go in the center or somewhere else. So it's floating. So when I'm having this float property, it's actually a property of the style attribute. So if I'm using a float property and inside it, I call it right. So the picture will then move on towards the right of it. And if I give it a left, then it will move on towards the left of it over there. Again, this is a CSS property. We will discuss this one in detail. Just for example, let's just say I'm not going to do it one. You can see very easily over there. Inside this paragraph, I have an image over there, and this image property has been selected as float equal to right. So what happens over there? This image here defined by this tag is floating on towards the right of it. The paragraph is still the very same. It's nothing change over there. So it's having the very same exactly over there. So you have a P paragraph over there. That is a float image to the right. So you can have one thing over there. So similarly, let's just say, in fact, I just want to maybe like, let's just say I want to do something on this one. So this is a Dubai Air Show over there. And I guess if there is some image of the Dubai Air Show, let me just find it out. Okay. I don't have any image of the Dubai Air Show. So you can add a Dubai Air Show. Let's just say if I have some images inside over there. Okay, I have a Tejas or JPEG. So I want to have this Tejas or JPEG over there. Let's just say I want to add. Let me just copy some from here. So that will be actually making it easy for me. So whatever is inside that P tag, I'm just going to copy over there inside it over there. And inside this P tag, let's just say this is the P tag over there. And inside this P tag, before the text, of course, before the text, I'm going to have it, let's just say, now the images over here, let's just say that will be slash images slash the Teja, because the picture is already there. And of course, the alternate text should be something different. So this is a Teja over there. The for float is style. Width is, let's just say I'm going to increase the width over here to 100 pixels. I guess the width is 100%, then height is going to be something near about 70 or 80. This is again an just an assumption because I don't know the actual, I don't want to stretch or skew the picture image. So now when this picture is going to be displayed over there, let's just say how this displays over there. Now you can see over there the crash of Indra is a fighter, and you can see the image. That image has gone towards the right, but it's a very, very small because my picture or my screen is a 2K screen on the MacBook. So that's why it's very, very small. So I have a lot amount of pixels because I have declared the picture as a pixel. So that's why it's giving me, I can make it a little bit more. Let's just say I call it 300 pixels for this case over there. So I have this 300 pixels over there. And if I just refresh it again, now you can see. Now, when I've done it, since the picture is so big over there, so that's why it's not taking the lower part of that paragraph as well, because it's taking more image over place. So you have to be very, very careful whenever you are defining your image inside some pixels over there. But you can use this float property over there in this way. And just to say this was float equal to right, if I want to now change it to float equal to left over there, and since I am having this one, so what I will be now having is going to be, so you can see now it goes on towards the left side over there as soon as I'm changing the float property of the style attribute over there. Again, remember, this style property can be on this float property can be for any of the elements, but here specifically for image, it's something very important that you can have the float property set to right or left. Remember, there is no center of this float property because float is always either going to be anchored to the left or the right of it. You cannot float. That is something very different. If you are going to have it is something in center. Then at the very end of this one, you have the common image formats over there, and you have the PNG, you have the icon is something very important. We will just discuss this just now. And then we have the JPEG, as I told you, this is a joint photographic expert group image. Then you have the portable network graphics and the SVG scalable vector graphics. And just for your information, whenever you work on a Corel Draw or maybe on a Inkspace or something like that, the format on which you are working is called as a scalable vector graphics, because then you can print a very high resolution from a very high resolution printer over there. So this is something, the common images format over there. Next thing very important is the image map over there, and this is something very, very important. And because whenever you have a picture in front of you, let's just say this is a picture in front of me, and let's just say I want to save this picture over here. Let me just use this picture because this picture is something going to be, I'm going to use this picture a lot, and for your information. So let me just copy this picture, and this is workplace. So I'm just going to copy this picture inside my, um, in fact, it should not be here. It should be inside the images folder because I am picking all the images folder. I am all having all the pictures inside my images folder. So now if I have it over there, so let's just say I have my picture over here, and as this is the images folder. Now what this is going to do, now see this very, very carefully what is happening over there. Now in this picture you have a laptop in front of you, you have a mobile, and you have also a cup of coffee or a tea in front of you. Now, what this will happen if I'm clicking on this picture, of course, you can have one image, one link over there, but this property of map, image map or simple map, this actually gives you the element that you can have an area of a picture defined as one link and another area defined as a circle or a rectangle or a polygon defined as one link. So in this picture, you can see there is a laptop in front of you, and here you can define it as a rectangle, and that rectangle will be defined as some coordinates. Now, if you want to find out the coordinates of any picture, of course, you will have to go on some online link. I will share that online link with you in the description point over there. But here in this image, when you have given the image over there, and then you have the another attribute over there inside the image that is called as a use map, and inside it you have the hash mark work map. Now, what this is, this work map actually tells you that where there is written map, this map actually tells you that wherever this coordinates are there for a rectangle, shape is equal to rectangle, RECT rectangle, coordinates, COORDS, coordinates, short form for coordinates over there, 34, 44, comma 270 slash 350, which means 34, comma 44 is one of the end over there, 270 slash comma 350, so which means 34 44 is somewhere here at the extreme left corner over there, and 270 slash 350 or cross 350 is going to be, so this is actually a laptop or a computer. So when you're going to click in this area, you are going to have a computer.htm. When you are going to click somewhere in the mobile region, this is actually 290 over there, you can get this coordinates. I will share you with that link over there later on in the description of this video, so you can have it over there. And then you have the another H reference. So in this way, you can have a circle also as well. So let me just copy this text over there, and I have already the folder inside my file over there. Let's just say after this uh, thematic break, let me just add a thematic break over there. And I have this image. Now, image is not there directly, so I have to give a point over there. Remember one thing very important, you have to be very, very careful whenever you are giving your path of your images or something like that. Now, hence here I have a computer, not computer HTML is not available on my website at least. So let's just say I'm having a www dot, let's just say when I'm clicking that laptop or whatever that computer was there, I want to open geo.tv. And if I'm clicking on that coffee cup over there, or sorry, not the phone over there, actually, I want to open, let's just say don.com. I'm just giving a reference over there. You can, of course, have some coffee cup or laptop website open in front of you. Of course, you are referencing to that image over there. Or maybe just like that, you are referencing, supposingly, you are referencing something, a map of Pakistan or maybe a map of any other country. And inside some area, you want to reference, okay, you want to go towards the website of Punjab, you want to go towards the website of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, you want to go towards the website of Gilgit-Baltistan or maybe Kashmir, then you can apply different websites or different links over there. Similarly, for the circle, you can have www dot, let's just say this is bbc.co.uk. Let's just have some. So now this is something which is being done over there. So now you can see over there, as soon I have now clicked it, and now if I give the image over there, let's just say I click on it. Now you can see now the image is visible, but image is not aligned because I have not given any width or height of that image over there. Plus the Tejas picture is also, but now you can see this over here is giving me that the object is not found over there. And why this is so, if I click on this one again, the object is not found over there. And why that is so, because I have not given HTTP reference over there. So I have to give that HTTP reference. Let's just say I have this HTTP reference over there. Similarly, I have to give this HTTP reference over there, HTTP reference, and bbc.co.uk. Let's say it should work now. If I have not done some errors over there, if I just refresh it, and now you can see now you can see my mouse is having that link over there. As soon as I click it, you can see now geo.tv website is open. If I click that mobile, you can see wherever my mobile is there, you can have this link over there. So you can see now the don.com website is opening. And if I have the circle area, that is the over there, you can have the bbc.co.uk. So in this way, one picture, many different links depend on it. One way, one thing very important, uh, you can take it as another exercise, as a practice over there. So you can just take the Pakistan map over there and you can apply, let's say you can take this picture over there, and based on this picture, now you may argue on this one that this is not actually a rectangle, it's not even a square or something. For that purpose, there is a particular coordinates for that purpose, and that thing is called as a polygon. Now that is something very, very important, a shape polygon. And of course you already know a polygon can be created by many different points over there. As you can see in this picture, I guess now I'm having a lot amount of eating this one because it's a croissant over there. There are some, I guess, some chocolate balls over there. So anyway, coming back to this one, this is a croissant over there. If you can take this one inside a online software which can give you the coordinates, you can easily find out the coordinates of this croissant over there. So this croissant can tell you, so you can see over there, this croissant has this coordinates over there, and you can easily tell this coordinates inside your poly command. That is area shape is equal to poly over there, and that can open your H reference, whatever you want to click on this one. You can do this one yourself. I'm not going to do it in front of you, but here I will strongly advise you use this Pakistan map, apply it using polygons over there. Let this for Balochistan, for Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, for Gilgit-Baltistan, or for Azad Kashmir, for Punjab and Sindh. Of course, we still have that 5 provinces over there, unless and until we have more provinces or more administration regions over there. But before till that, you can try to make this one as a part of it, and then you can see that you can have your map area based on either a circle, a rectangle, or a polygon. All three are applicable over there. In this part, you can see, you can find out the radius of the circle, you can find out the center of that circle where you can have it. So you can easily have the circle also defined over there. 337 comma 300 is the center of that circle, and 44 is the uh, radius of that circle over there, and that you can actually give it over there. Of course, it's not going to cover the whole area. You can see some imperfections over there, but still you can use the polygon if you are not still satisfied with this one. But polygon, you can have to use this. I will share that link of that image coordinator over there. That will actually, you can just have to give that online link, the image file, and you can move your mouse wherever you want to move it, and this will give you the XY coordinates of that particular thing. So supposedly if you want to make this chocolate balls or whatever it is over here, you want to make this as a link on side a picture, then you have to find out the polygon coordinates of this thing, and then you can apply it on over there. So in this way, this thing is very, very important, and this actually can be used over there for any JavaScript function as well. So we will come back to this JavaScript later on, because we have still not touched the JavaScript or the script element up till now. But you can have this image map, and I will strongly advise you, for all the students who are using this or seeing this video, please kindly use whatever country from you are, to use this maps over there, a map of your country or maybe somewhere else, and then you can have your image maps as an href link over there, or a hyperlink. Next thing, very, very important, is the background image, which means that you want to have a background image. Up till now, you have been having a background color. Now you want to have a background image. Now, when you want to have a background image over there, that is something very, very different. Now, supposingly, I want to have a background image for my whole page over there. For that purpose, let's say I want to have a background image for my body up till now. So let's say up till now in my file, I have not given a background for a body. This was the body over there. Now I have not taken this style out of it. So what I will do now, I will take the style out of it, save this file, go back on my CSS file, and here before H1. Now since body is the main element, so I'm going to introduce it at the very top. I will just write body, curly brackets over there, and I will write down background image. Now inside background images over there, I have to write down, let's say I want to give a image over there, and that image supposedly is a URL, which means you want to give a URL over there, and inside that URL, let's say this is again URL brackets open. Now this is one nomenclature of a images slash. Now I want to have a background image from whatever I have over there. Let's say I want to call, let's just say, let's first of all find out what images I have over there, because I don't want to make it, okay, this one is one image over there. It's a very delicate color over there, a dark color. But anyway, let's just use it. Let's say that is Galaxy, yes, Galaxy.jpg. Now, when I'm going to use it, now what will happen? The whole website is going to have this image of this Galaxy.jpg at the background. So instead of filling with some color or something else, or will be white color, now you are going to have over here. I'm going to click it. Now you can see what has happened. The background of the whole website has changed to that, and that picture is being repeated because the website is of very, very big size. So it's being repeated again and again over there. So this is actually a background image is being added, again URL. Now you want to add something. Let's just say I want to have a background image, or let's just say scenery. Let's say I want to have a scenery image. Use Google Images for your understanding and something like that. Uh, let's say I want to have a light color something. Google Images is something very important, and you want to have something, let's just say by 1200 slash 800, let's say. This is one way of doing it. You can find out on site Google. If you don't know this, you can have your pixels written over here in this form. And let's say I want to select some bright color. This is a licensable file, so I can't use it. If you can't actually, the resolution is very, very good, but you still can't use it over there. Let's say I want to use, again, this is also licensable. This is also licensable. Anyway, let's just say this is workable. Okay, anyway, if this is workable, what I'm going to do just now, let's just say on this one, uh, sorry, on this part, again, my mouse is uh, not giving me. Okay, I guess now. Actually, my mouse right click. Actually, my I guess my button is not in the very best of best place. Anyway, this image is also open. Now I have that image opened over here, and I have saved that image. Let's say this is that. Let's just call it sunset over there. That is sunset.jpg. I just copy this image, go back in my AHT docs folder, and I place it again inside this one. Now this is sunset.jpg. Go back again over there, and inside now, instead of having sunset.jpg, now this is a 1200 something. Now your website will be something you can see now. But now what is happening, you can see, because the size of the image was 1200 slash something, I guess it was, if I'm not wrong, it was 1200 slash 900, so I guess if I'm not wrong, you can find it out. So now what is happening, that now you are having that image tiled 2, 3, 4 times over there. So that's actually not right. So it's, you want to actually have that. So one way is that you want to have your repeated horizontally and vertically, then you don't need to tell anything, which means you don't have to. Now if you give a property that is called as a background repeat, then you can have no repeat property added. Now what will happen when I'm going to give this property over there? Let's say inside this one I give a property of no repeat. So now this time when I'm going to view this website over there inside my HTML, so now you can see only one time and the remaining. So you have to select some image that can cover the whole space. So this is one way of doing it. Now you can use this HTML property. Let's just say I don't want to use this inside the background image. Let's say I don't want to use this inside the background image, and I want to use this one inside my heading. You can use that one over there as well. It's totally up to you. Let's just say I have used this inside the heading. Now when I'm going to refresh it, now you can see inside HTML course, whatever the size may be, that is still viewable, but you can see the image is still there. So you can use the background image property inside any of the elements you want to use, a paragraph, a text over there, whatever stuff over there, a heading, H1, H2, H3, H5, H6, you can do whatever over there. Similarly, if you want you can set the background size property over there. This is one thing more. You want the background attachment property to be fixed over there. Then if you can add these two over there, now these two things are actually going to change something more. They are going to stretch your picture, and those pictures are now going to be, so you can see now it's stretched towards the whole thing. Now you want to do this one for the whole page over there. Let's just cut it from here. I don't want to. You had a background color. Remember, you had a background color, but I was superseding it with another property that was background image. Now I'm pulling it back inside the body. So now you can see the whole picture is stretched. Now, of course, this is still looking nice because I have a background image over there, and it was not that bad picture. But if it was a very small resolution picture, and if it was stretching it, the picture would not be looking nice. The overall, the aesthetics of that picture will also be damaged. So please remember one thing: whenever you are adding this background attachment and background size, please remember one thing: you don't need to do something like this over there. So one thing very important, if you want to avoid this stretching like this over there, then you have to call it the background size equal to 100 crash 100 over there. Then you don't have to expand or release your browser over there, because if you see this one, the browser is something very different over there. Now just okay, so now we are at, we have done these HTML background images over there. Kindly try to play with this one for different elements, H1, P1, P over there, or H2 or something like that. And then the last thing inside this one is the picture element over there. I'm not going to discuss a lot inside this one, but this is one way, because this is actually something related with the different images that can be displayed on different sizes. So we will discuss this when we're talking about the HTML responsive, which means that the website, when it is going to be viewed in front of a laptop or a tab, portrait style, or a mobile or something like that, it's going to be something different. So you have to tell the minimum width, the maximum width, and all that stuff. So this is something very important, and that actually takes on its ways depending upon the format support, the bandwidth over there. So this is something a little bit above the scope at present, but we will discuss it when we have the minimum width and everything discussed over there, that how that image is going to be displayed over there when we are talking about the HTML responsive over there. So we will leave this topic for that point over there when we're discussing the HTML responses, because the website has to behave according to the size of your screen, that is the width over there, not the height, because the website always goes on the height side over there. You can scroll up and down, but that can be done. Next thing, very, very important, is the HTML favicon. That is actually the icon which is inside your image. Now, at present, since I have clicked on the geo link over there, that's why it's taking that geo icon over there. But otherwise, if I want to change that icon over there, very simple thing, you just have to, inside the head of your document, that is the head element of your document, you have to add a link, and that again is going to link with another file that is going to be an ICO file, an icon file over there. So what I'm going to do now, I will just show you now that inside this file, that is your index slash part 2, here I am going to add a link file over there. Now, apart from that style sheet, I have added inside a favicon.ico file inside my images folder. But at present, inside my images folder, there is no favicon.ico over there. And favicon is the file name over there. Now, one thing very important, you want to have icon images over there. So this is going to be favicon, let's say, an icon image over there. So when you are going to have an icon image for so you have want to have an icon image over there, you can find out based on your size over there. Now here you can see, if you want to find an icon, so you can have an icon size, and remember, all these size are going to be depending upon proper pixels over there. For example, let's say I want to find out, let's just say, since we are talking about an HTML website, so I want to have an HTML website icon. I will just change the tools again back to the icon over there. So when I do that, let's say I want to change this to, if I have some, let's just say, okay, this is 256 slash 256. Let's just say I want to save this one to downloads over there. And now I want to have saved that one. So remember one thing, you can have a lot amount of file support over there. It can have an inside Safari, Opera, Firefox, Chrome on Edge over there. But again, you can use any of these formats over there. The format which I have just downloaded from the Google Images is something like this. Let me just go down. It's a folder.ico. So I'm just going to copy it from here, go inside my, again, the XAMPP folder, and inside my images, of course, because everything I'm putting inside is images. So this is folder.ico. And here I will go on and change this to folder.ico. So now when I have done this, hopefully, if a history is not there, I can still open it. Let's just say I just cup it out, and I was going to open it localhost slash part one, sorry, index dash part one dot html. I guess I have opened the wrong file. I guess we are, sorry, I was in part two. So when I've done it, I guess now the history is loaded. So that's why this is not being done over here, because I have to delete my history. Let's just say I try to delete my history. Let's say it works on or not. So I will just clear my history over here for this one. And let's say I am going to now open the same localhost slash index dash part one, sorry, part one dot html. Hopefully it works. I guess I have again given the wrong name. That's why actually I'm not having the index file over there. Let me just confirm my file over name over there. Index dash part two is the file. So that's actually the problem. There is no part one actually. There is part two dot html. So now you can see, because I have refreshed it, now you can see the image, whichever I have done, it's being loaded over there, because it was a very, very small image and it was not that visible. So you can see now this image is visible. So you can have any website over there, but remember that has to be an icon image over there, which means that if you are going to have a Google, from the Google, you are taking something. So remember one thing, you can see that's actually the problem over there whenever I'm having this over here. So whenever you are having this problem over there, you have to be very, very careful, because when you delete the history, you are actually having this one. So I have an icon image. So you have the icon image over there. So you, just to give you an idea, that icon images sizes can be on different sizes over there. So icon images sizes, it can be from 16 cross 16, 32 cross 32, 48 cross 48. Here in this case, since I am on a 2K screen, so 256 slash 256 is suitable. Here you can see 16 cross 16 is used for small icon sizes, 24 are used for toolbars or something, but 256 slash 256 can work over there. That's why when I used it over there, this was still working over there. So this is HTML Favicon, and you can do very easily over here the HTML Favicon, and you can add remember one thing, the history has to be deleted, just like I have erased the history. That's why it was asking me to sign in and all that stuff was happening. Next thing, HTML page title. We already have done this over there. And whenever you are adding an HTML page title, that page title, as you can see, HTML AICT course is being displayed. We already know this. We have done it from the part one. So you can add the title tag very easily. And we have done this title tag added inside our head. Remember, our head has all those attributes or properties of that page which are not viewable. These are the properties with which we are linking files. You are adding some icon images or something like that, or some JavaScript file, which we will add them later on. So that will be added inside the head element over there. The next and the second last thing of this part, which has now gone even on the longer scale, is the HTML tables. And I will just show you how you can add an HTML table over there. For example, I want to add an HTML table just on the top of this one. Supposedly, I want to add an HTML table. And for that HTML table, let's say I want to add, and that is done by the table tag. So if I want to add a table over there, you can see it starts with the table tag. TR stands for the row. So whenever you want to start a row, then you have to give it a TR and then the ending tag TR. This is company. TH is the heading. TH stands for the table heading. So that's why you can see over there, this is the heading, and that's why it is in blue, the bold color. And then you have the TD, that is table data. Then you have the TD, then is table data, and everything has to be inside a TR. So if I just copy this one, let's say I have just copied this one, and I just take it inside my table, and wherever this is a Dubai Air Show and all that stuff, I just copy it over there. So now what I'm doing, before this Dubai Air Show and all that pictures over there, in fact, just to make my life a little easier and just to make it a little visible, I am making my picture of that Teja on a small scale so that it is visible. And now when I'm going to refresh my page, you can see now that this table is viewable over there. But now this table is only taking a very small amount of size. It's not stretching out because I have not defined any styling attribute. So whenever you want to have a table styling, that is a totally different domain over there. But here you can add a different area over there or any row over there. Let's say supposingly this was the company name, contact, and country over there. If I want to add another row, so this means I have to add another row like this one. So I have added another row. Let's say this was, let's say I want to call it, this was a company name. Let's just say this is let's just add my company name, NG Labs. So I have this one, and the contact number, let's say you want to add it. Of course, I am the owner, so can be my name, and of course I am in Pakistan, so of course this has to be from Pakistan. So this way you can add a new row. And remember one thing, you every time you have to have a new data inside the cell, that has to be inside TD. TD stands for table data, TR stands for table row. So in this way, and TH stands for your table heading. That's why it's going to make it bold by default. If you want to now change the anything, you can see now I have added NG Labs and Aslan Rahim Pakistan is being added. Now you want to do something styling of this one. Remember one thing, if you want to do some styling of this one, then this is again the exactly very same thing. If you want to have TR, then you have to have a TR ending tag as well. Similarly, you have a TH over there. It is a table heading, just like as I told you. Now you want to add some table borders. Now this is adding a table borders over there. You want to add some table borders over there. Then you have to, of course, go in the styling sheet over there. That is the CSS over there. So what you will add over there, if you want to do something like this over there, then you will just go and copy this thing. Let's say I am going to add this one inside my styling file. Remember, my styling file is this part3.css. And since I'm using it just below the heading tags over there, so I will just put it over there in this one. So what I'm going to do it, table, comma, th, comma, td. This means that all these three elements are going to have a border of 1 pixel solid black. Now, just to take it a little difference, let's make it like a 2 pixel solid, and I'm going to make it something like a blue color. So now when I have this one, so this means that the table that is all round outside of that table, the heading and the data, everything is going to have a border. So now the table is going to be something viewable like this. You can see now. So the whole table has also one border. The headings also has border. Now, just to tell you how this works, uh, if I just take out T heading, let's say I don't want to have for the T heading and I want to take out from the TD. So what happens now? Only the heading will be having the border. So you can see now every time you are changing, so the word tag inside your CSS file or the style sheet is actually table over there. And similarly, with this comma operator, you can have multiple elements having the same property. In this way, you have add the border over there. Now you can add, let's say I want to add a background image. Let's say not background image, actually background image inside a table will be very, very bad. But anyway, let's just say background color. I want to make it something like, let's just say it's a branch element over there, and I want to call the color of that text over there to, let's say, blue, because that is something like that. And let's say I want to call the font size over there to, let's say, it is something 140%. Let's say what happens. So, and what happens now, the headings and all that. So you can see now inside your table and everything, now your file is now your table is getting a little look now. Everything is now getting the size also, the border also, the text. So every styling property you have done up till now, you can do it very easily. Similarly, and if you want to have avoid double borders, then you can have border collapse over there, which means you have the border collapse, because up till now this border which you are seeing over there was two times, because if I increase it to TD also, which means the data is also going to have a border of its own, then this was something like this. Now you can see over there it's increasing every time over there. Now if I don't want to have it, one thing is there, I can add this property of border collapse, which means that where there are two borders, I don't want that to happen. So this will now collapse the double borders, and now only one border will be visible. Then it will in union all those borders over there. So in this way you can have a table borders. Then you can also have the background color changed easily, just like I have changed over there. You can have something like that over there, or then you can have the border radius as well. Now this is a property we will discuss a little bit more inside the CSS, but just for now, let's say I want to add a border radius over there. So what will happen now? The border will be having a border radius of approximately 10 pixels. Is a very large value, but anyway, let's see how this actually is going to work over there. I guess I have given a wrong value, or maybe something like that. Border radius, it should be working. I don't know why it's not working. So 1 px solid black border radius is equal to 10 px, so it should be working. Maybe I have not given border radius 10 px. So it should be working. Maybe I have not given. Uh, it's still working over there, but it's not, I guess, viewable over here. It should be working. Maybe I have not given some border radius is there, border collapse is there. So maybe I guess border is there, 1 px solid black is there, whatever stuff is there. So you can see whenever I'm actually having this border radius, you can see over there, when I had this as 10 px over there, you can see this was something different over there. Now it is something different over there. So you can see the edges are getting having a radius over there, a curl over there. So that's why it's getting something like this over there. But anyway, you can have the border size again added as over there solid, dotted, or dashed. Now up till now, what I added over there was a border added as a solid over there. Now I can add a dotted one as well. So what will happen now? the border will now become equal to the dotted part. You can see now it's getting a dotted over there. So there are many different options you have seen over there. You want it hidden, you want none, you want an outset over there, which means it's a three-dimensional something. You want an inset over there. So you can see the inset over there. You can have a ridge, which means it's bulging out just like a 3D. You want a grove or something. You want a double border. You want a solid border, which you have been using up till now. You want a dotted border or a dash border. Can you try all these ones? I'm not going to do this one over there. You can do this one over there. There's many different options for the border style over there. You can do this one here like this, or you can do it over here by replacing this 1px solid. Instead of solid, use any of these words over there. So in this way, you can have your something. Similarly, you can also change the border color over there, just like I have changed over here the border color by using the simple same border property. Remember, when I'm using the word border colon, sorry, when I'm using the word border property, then I'm defining the size, that is a thickness, then the type, solid, dotted, dashed, whatever, and the color. But if you don't want to do it like something like this, then there is one property, that is border dash style, which can change the whole thing, or the border dash color that will actually change individually the whole thing over there, because sometimes you need to have the border color or border style only change, the rest of the remaining thing you don't want to change it, then you can do it something like this. This is one of the thing. Then next thing, table sizes over there. If you want to have the table size over there, now this is something very, very important. You want to have your width equal to 100%. Now what will happen when you will add this width equal to 100%? Your table will automatically go to 100% over there. Let me just take it. Remember, CSS, you always have to have the semicolon at the end of any command. So now what will happen because of this? This whole table will take the whole space of your page. Now you can see automatically it has taken the whole 100% space of your page easily, because I have given the property of width equal to 100%. And at the very same time, you can have the styling inside your th as well, that you want the first column or the first heading to be 70%, you want the next one to be 30% or whatever, that you can also do it. Kindly try this one over there. That will be much easier for you. You can even specify the row height. This is very important. You can even specify, whenever you are specifying one row, then you can specify your height equal to pixels over there as well. Remember, it can't be in percentage, because height is something variable. Every time you are changing over there, then you can have this changing done over there inside your table over there. Similarly, whenever we are talking about the table headers over there, you can have a table header being added over there. That is how you are going to have the table headers being added, or the heading over there. That is the TH being added. As I told you before, you can have even the table as horizontal as well, which means a vertical table header. So you can have a TH here, you can have a TH here, you can have a TH here. Sorry, this one. So this means if I just show this one, let me just show this link over there in front of it. So if I have this one, w3schools.com option, you can see now, because the heading has to be bold. So you can see now first name, last name, age, it's something like this. So sometimes you just need to have a database from where you want to have the first name, last name, age, everything. So you are going to have something like this. So it's very something. You can have your styling attributes inside over there, inside any of the row, inside any of your heading or heads over there. You can call it heading or you can call it header over there. It's totally up to you. So you can align your table headers also, that how you want your text aligned to the left or right. Here inside my table at present, everything is aligned to the left over there. The heading is aligned, or the head is aligned in the center. So I can do it very simply. I can have the text aligned. Let's say this is a whole table. I want my text aligned. So I want my text aligned to the center, let's say. So what will happen now? All my table will be now aligned as a center, as you can see. Now, since this is taking more like 80% of the space, the remaining ones, you can fix it in the width property of your table over there. Similarly, you can have a header that can span over two or more columns as well. And this is can be done by having the column span word. This is actually column span words over there. Call span, which is the column span over there, that is 2. So this means here inside each row, you are going to have depending upon how many data you are having, how many columns you are having. But here you says column span 2. This means that this particular heading is going to take 2 columns. So that's why it will take 2 columns over there, and then afterwards the one column will be separate. Similarly, just like this, for multiple columns, you can have for multiple rows as well, and that is also possible. We will just go back. This is again at column span and row span. But here you can have a table caption as well, and that caption can be written as a caption word over there. So if supposedly this is the companies over there, let's say I want to inside this table. Let me go back on my part over there. I want to give this over here the caption, and here inside it caption I want to select companies and their origin. So what will happen? I will have the companies and the origin added over there. So when I will be having this thing, so you can see companies and their origin, it's being written over there. So in this way, you can add a different caption on your table. And remember one thing, this can be in the bottom as well. If you put it at the bottom, it will be displayed on the bottom. If you want it on the top, it will be displayed on the top over there. Next thing, very important, which again will be discussed inside your CSS, but I will just give you a little teaser over here. That is the padding and the spacing. Now, this is something very different. If you can see the difference over there, what is padding? Padding is applied around that element. Here, the element is hello, so you can see the padding is applied around it. That's why the border of that element is spaced away. But when there is a spacing, then after that border, the spacing is applied, and spacing is applied between elements. I hope you are getting the idea that padding is applied between the element and its border. Spacing is applied after the border between elements over there. So cell padding is the space between the cell edges and the cell content. And by default, the padding is set to 0. And if you are using the padding property, it's totally up to you. You want to use the padding property that will actually make your pad different. But I will come back to this one when we are discussing the CSS in detail. So you can leave this padding and spacing option, because we are going to use this padding and spacing a lot over there when we are discussing in the CSS part over there. So just remain for this one. But just for now, for padding and spacing, I hope you're getting the idea. Padding is used for the spacing between the cell edges and the cell content, which means the cell edges is this one and the cell content. So there is a pad over there, and this padding can be done for any of the element, not just tables. It can be done for the whole CSS, any elements over there. So this is something, and spacing is something different, and spacing can be added over there whenever you are going to have a border spacing between two different elements as well. So that's something very different over there. Next thing, I guess you can go through this column span or the row spans yourself. One thing which I want to actually discuss just now is this table styling. Now, you can have your table styling in many, many different ways, and there are like thousands of ways available to you. You can have this one odd, one even, like this, something different colors over there. This you can even do that one. You want something like this column spaces over there, so you have a different one over there. Similarly, you want something like this with horizontal and vertical stripes over there, then you can have also this one, or you can have a horizontal divider as well. This is totally up to you. So this is totally up to you. Whatever you want to have a hovering table, which means that when you are going to have your mouse hover over there, then you can have your table changed over there. What this means actually, let's just see over there. I will just show you this one. Sorry, on this one. I want to have the hover over there, and let's just say when I'm going to hover on this table, let's say I have this table in front of me, and inside my style property, remember this thing, whenever I'm putting this one tr column, just like I have done it for A. If you remember your A over there, that was A over there, A colon link, A colon hover, hover, which means the mouse is hovering over there. So TR, whenever I'm hovering over a row, the background color changes to this color, or let's just say the background color changes to yellow. Okay, let's just say it's going to change to yellow. So when I'm going to now save this, and I'm going to go on my HTML, and I'm going to go it. So it should be working. I don't know why it's not working. It should be working. Let's just confirm me out. It should be working. TR hover. Wherever there is TR, just like it should be working. Maybe I'm missing something. Let me just confirm it out. Maybe in the TR category I have not written. TDTR and something like that. I guess I have not done some mistake. Let me just confirm it out. TR is there, TH and TD is there. So background color changes to this thing. So it should be still working. So this is TDTR hover background color. Maybe the background color I have selected is something different. Let me just confirm it. Okay, the background color, let's say I want to change it to something red or something like that, orange. So it should be working. Maybe text align is there or something like that. Let me just confirm it out. My mouse is hovering over there, but it's not working. So maybe some problem with my. Okay, the border collapse is there. Everything is there in the styling property hover. But my hovering property is not working. And whenever something like this happens, please do not worry, because these things, what will be the problem? Probably there is some, there is no syntax error overall, I guess. I'm not doing some mistake. But whenever this is something, of course, this is being overridden by something. So what is happening over there? Whatever I'm giving this property of TR, it's being overridden by something else over there. That's why it's not working. Otherwise, it is totally due to work over there, and it should be working. Let me just confirm this out from here. It should be working. It's hash mark border bottom. It should be working. Text align is left. It's totally up to you. Padding is 8px. Nothing change over there. Um, Maybe let me just load my page, or maybe again this may be a history problem as well again. So whenever you are having this problem, please do this one, because my website or cookies are not having. In fact, do this thing and report me inside my comments over there, because this styling property is very simple and it's nothing fancy. It should be working over there, just like I have shown you over here in this editor over there. You can move your mouse and you can do this one for any of the property. This, remember, this hover property can be used for any of the element over there. So this is something very, very simple, and this table styling can be done very easily over there, just like I have shown you over here. So can you try this one on over there, and we will start your part 4 from the HTML list and the block and inline. So this is part 3, and kindly try to do this HTML table. We have been very fast in this HTML tables, but kindly try to do this thing, and hopefully we will come back to it when we are doing a styling part. Then I will show you in more detail that how this padding and spacing works over there, because the CSS is something very, very broad, and it is so deep that in fact maybe in this whole course I will not be able to cover the every aspect of a cascaded style sheet over there. So today we have started from the HTML colors, as we have stopped at HTML colors on the part 2. We have talked about the external CSS file. We have talked about the links, how you can use an image as a link. We have talked about how you can have different types of images, image maps over there, background images. We have talked about the Favicon image, how you have added an image on the Favicon. We have talked about the page title. We have talked about the tables, the list over list. We have still not done it. We will discuss list in the next part. And then the next part, part number 4, is going to be very, very important, where we are going to discuss the list, the block and inline. And now actually the CSS starts from this block and inline, div, classes, and ID. These 4 topics are something very important, and CSS uses these 4 topics to actually align how your element. Because at present, if you can see over there, this over here is not having a sequence. You can see some portions are on the left side, some portion on the left hand side. So you can see this is not aligned. But now when I'm going to use the block and inline property and all that stuff of the ID and classes, then this will be much, much easier to understand. So this is all from the part 3. I hope you have understood, and please leave the comments at the end of this video. Thank you.